Moving your business online. Vital information about online business safety, chargebacks and what they are, and how to avoid them. Chargebacks are just no fun, so it's very important to just not get one. Just don't get one. Chargebacks and how to prevent them. A chargeback is a charge that is returned to a payment card after a customer successfully disputes an item on their account statement or transaction report. Note, a customer does not have to contact you in order to make a chargeback. They just have to contact their bank. Then their bank will contact your bank, and then your bank will contact you. Your bank will typically give you the opportunity to dispute the chargeback, and they will tell you the information that you have to provide. Then they can go back to the client. There are a variety of reasons that chargebacks happen, and there are also a number of ways to avoid them from happening. Chargebacks happen if the item is not received, or if the item significantly is not as it was described on your website, or if the transactions were unauthorized. Sometimes an unauthorized transaction happens. For example, if a husband and wife share a credit card or a debit card and one party goes and purchases something online and then forgets to tell the other party. It also happens with older children that have access to cards for purchasing online and things like that. So sometimes there's a miscommunication between the card holders, and that's something that can be mitigated during the chargeback process in most instances. But the key is to try to avoid having a chargeback process altogether. If the item is not received, which gets us back to the importance of keeping updated inventory, because you do not want to sell an item that's out of stock. And you also do not want to substitute an out of stock item, at least without the written approval of the customer, because it does give them the opportunity to file a chargeback against your business. Chargebacks do remain on record with most banks. It's almost like a black dot on your account. Some of the industry best practices for e-commerce in order to avoid a chargeback is to make sure that you have contact information in relation to refund and returns, so that the customer can get in touch with you before they go to their bank. Be responsive to any customer queries. Make sure that they know that you're there to help and that you're willing to hear them out and resolve the issue. If you learn of a chargeback, or if your bank contacts you about a chargeback that has been filed, they will provide you with the name of the person, and you can check your order records and get in touch with that individual and see if you can resolve the dispute without completing the chargeback process, to avoid that dot getting on your record with the bank. Provide a very clear refund and return policy, because ultimately when a chargeback claim comes in, your bank will refer to your return and refund policy. For example, if a customer purchased pants from you 45 days ago and your return policy said that they should have filed a refund or return request with you within 30 days, but all of a sudden they went and filed a chargeback 40 days after purchase, your return policy in that instance would protect you. Chargebacks continued. Imagine, it gets 2 pages. In order to prevent the item not received chargeback, give your buyers a realistic delivery date. Don't say you can deliver something tomorrow when you know it takes a whole day just to get it from the back of the warehouse. Let customers know when something is out of stock. Make sure that that's displayed on your website, not after they've bought it, but before they even attempt to buy it. And when you're developing your e-commerce website, ensure that when an item is out of stock, the customer can't even check it out. Like, they just can't purchase it. They can't get to the checkout point with it. Sometimes you can allow them to drop it in their cart, but they can't pay for it in advance. In some situations, you can allow a customer to drop an out-of-stock item in the cart if you know it's going to be made available again in the next week or the next month. But that has to be clearly noted on the item, and it also has to come through on the order confirmation, so that there's no chance of your customer saying that they did not know that the item was out of stock and would take a month to get to them. Avoid substituting an ordered item without the written approval of the customer. That can lead to a chargeback. If a customer ordered a dress and you send them a shirt because you're out of that dress, they can file an item not received chargeback claim. Unless somewhere on your website you have within your terms and conditions that your customer agrees to allow you to substitute an item for another item if the item that they've ordered is not in stock. So that goes back again to your terms and your conditions and your policies, having clear transparency and in no way leaving room for a customer to say they did not know. You can prevent the significantly not as described chargeback claims by giving adequate disclosures if you're selling used items, especially. If there is a chair with a broken leg or a doll without a head, make sure that you have that in the description somewhere. And take as many pictures as you can of any item like that. Answer all questions promptly and clearly. You may see quite a few e-commerce websites that have that little chat box in the corner that allows customers to immediately send questions to a customer service representative as the questions arise in their minds while they're shopping online. That's really beneficial if you have high traffic on your site, so you can deal with each query as it arises. You can prevent the unauthorized transaction claim by making sure that your contact information is displayed, openly listening to your customer and their query. Primarily, just making sure that you're accessible if a customer ever feels like their card was used on your e-commerce website without their permission.